And the third reality of that parable is this: there is a point of no return. Once the groom comes, it's the end. No matter how much you cry, Lord, Lord, have I not preached? Haven't I not taught? Did we not spend time together? Remember in Matthew chapter 5, 7, 18. I never knew you. Get out of here. But Lord, I preach in your name. I did miracle. I never knew you. In fact, the wording there is, buddy, pare, we're tight. He was shocked. These ladies were shocked. They thought by not being prepared, they could still join the banquet. But the warning of Jesus is, be on the alert, for you do not know the day nor the hour. But know this, you will be accountable to Him if you are not prepared. Now the question for us is this: then how? How can we prepare ourselves? How can we know that we are preparing, that we are filling the flask with oil, and that when the bridegroom arrives, we are ready? Verse 14, the second parable. For it is like a man about to go on a journey, who called his own slaves and entrusted his possession to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, each according to his own ability. And he went on his journey. Interesting, he tells us another parable. A parable, I believe, explaining what are the things that we need to do to prepare ourselves. The first parable is to show us strongly that you need to be prepared. And we might say, amen, Lord, teach us how to prepare. And He gives us another parable. Now here, you know, not all servants was given the same amount. You know, this one God gave 5, another God gave 2, another God gave 1. For us, we might say, oh, that's unfair. No. Whatever God does is fair. He gives us according to our competence. You wouldn't give a Harley Davidson to a 5-year-old kid. Depending on our competence, depending on our capabilities, God will entrust us with certain things. Verse 16. Immediately, not waiting for a minute, not waiting for a day. Immediately, the one who had received 5 talents went and traded with them and gained 5 more talents. If you note, Jesus was not particular on what He did. What trade? Nanggamot ba siya? Naging karpintero ba siya? Did he trade stocks? Did he buy goods and sold them? We don't know. It does not matter. What mattered to Jesus is that He worked. He did something with the resources that was given unto Him. Verse 17. In the same manner, the one who had received 2 talents gained 2 more. But he who received 1 talent went away and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. Now, after a long time, the master of the slaves came and settled accounts with him. Note again, now after a long time. Again, there is a delay. That is important for us to realize. There will be delays. Don't go weary. Don't get tired. Persevere, knowing that this is expected. Verse 20. The one who received the 5 talents came up and brought 5 more talents, saying, Master, you entrusted 5 talents to me. See that I have gained 5 more talents. He was able to multiply it times 200% profits. His master said to him in verse 21, Well done, good and faithful slave. You are faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter the joy of your master. 22. The second slave, the one who you received the 2 talents, came up and said, Master, you entrusted 2 talents to me. See, I have gained 2 more talents. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful slave. You are faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your masters. Note, there was no distinction. It did not matter to Jesus if he brought 5 or 10 or 2. What mattered is the resources given to him. He was faithful in handling and managing that resource. And when the word said, I will put you in charge of many things, enter into the joy of your master, enter into the banquet of your master. The party, the celebration of your master for your faithfulness in handling the resources. Verse 24, and the one also who had received 1 talent came up and said, Master, I knew that you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you did not scatter no seed. The third slave was saying, Master, I knew that you are a good businessman. In fact, you are a shrewd businessman. You're able to reap where you did not even plant. Verse 25, and I was afraid, and I went away and hid the talents on the ground. See, you have what is yours. And the excuse of this third man for not working is what? I was afraid. I know you are a shrewd businessman. That if I did something, if I invested it, and there is a loss, man, I'm afraid of the consequence that you might bring to me. And sometimes we might say, oh, okay, what's wrong with that? Tama naman, nag-play safe was his excuse. Verse 26. But his master answered and said to him, You wicked, lazy slave. The master unmasked his real reason why he was not able to produce. Because he was wicked and he was lazy. You knew that I would reap where I did not sow and gather where I did not scatter. Then you ought to have put my money in the bank. On that my arrival, I would have received my money back with interest. You're not afraid of me. You're just plain lazy. You did not prepare. You did not use and maximize the resources that I have entrusted to you. Why? You are lazy doing your own thing. And the master said, you know what? If you just even place that in the bank, which is equally as safe as putting it in the ground, may interest pa sana ako. na yung bangko saan to? By the way, the banks at the time is the temple. The temple served as the bank where people can keep their money. That's why there's a lot of money changers also there. They change money and they can keep it in the bank. Or they can withdraw money and keep it in the bank. As I said during that time, the high priest is really a good business. You go there, you want to buy a sheep. You take a sheep to sacrifice, they'll say, your sheep is not good. Duling. Alright? They'll sell you a sheep. Once they sell you a sheep, they get your sheep to be sold later on. They sell you a sheep, you pay. You pay in pesos. Sorry, we don't accept pesos. We only sell dollars. Then they're the money changer. And their exchange rate are unscrupulous. They earn again from that. So and the money that you give them, even in tithes, they go to the bank. Talagang naging negosyo itong temple. And the master was saying, you know what? If only you place it in the bank, I would have earned interest. So what you're telling me are excuse. You were lazy. You were irresponsible on the resources that I have given to you. During that time, it's very common to earn 5-folds and 10-folds. Very common at that time, if you had the money. Verse 28. Therefore, take away the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For to anyone who has, more shall be given, and he will have an abundance. But for the one who does not have, even what he does not have, shall be taken away. Throw out the worthless slave into the darkness. In the place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Do you want to prepare yourself for the second resurrection, for the second coming of Christ? You prepare yourself by being good stewards with the resources that God has given to you, to be used for the benefit of God's kingdom. That's how you prepare. That's how not to be a foolish virgin. By using the resources that God has entrusted in you. The time. You know, the time, your time is a resource. Your energy, your labor, your talents, your money, even if you don't have money, your talent, your labor, your time, your energy can be used, should be used, because they were entrusted to you by God. God gave you 10,000 hours. Were you able to use it properly? God gave you talents. Were you able to use it for His kingdom? God gave you money. Were you able to use it expanding His kingdom? That is one way that we prepare for the second coming, for the second resurrection. So what? First, be prepared. How? By being fruitful on the resources that God has given to you. What else? Verse 31. But when the Son of Man comes in glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from one another, as the shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep on the right and the goats on the left. Note, what's the difference between the sheep? sheep and the goat. Why? What makes you qualified to go to the